How to find motivated sellers using Propstream. What is up, guys? Zach Ginn here, and in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to find amazing motivated seller leads using Propstream, basically a real estate investing software. And we're going to break down exactly everything you need to know about that software on actually how to pull motivated seller leads. I'm actually going to the software right now and actually pull real leads. I'm going to break down some of my favorite lists to pull and really some of the best filtering criteria for your success in real estate wholesaling. Before we bring it down, do me a big favor and smash that like button and subscribe. If you want to learn exactly how to actually use Propstream the right way, I recommend you go to freewholesaling.com. And last but not least, you're going to see a little link on the bottom left here. If you want to get a 7-day free trial to Propstream, just go to listrei.com, listrei.com, and try it out for free. Let's get into Propstream and let's show exactly how to pull some leads. All right, guys, we are currently in Propstream listrei.com. And what I'm going to do right now is let's sort of pull some lists, show you. So this is what it basically looks like. Pretty simple, pretty easy to go. So all we got to do here is just go into the county, city, zip information and pull it all there. So let's just go to a random county. We got Salt Lake, Utah. So Salt Lake County, Utah right here. And what we're going to do is just start pulling a list and pulling some motivated leads and seeing what we can do here, right? So there is a plethora, like an insane amount, a huge amount of type of leads you can pull. And that is a very confusing thing, I think, in real estate wholesaling. You know, everyone thinks that you can pull 50 different lists in a day and then you're going to be super successful. The problem is, like, you should really be focusing on 5 to 6 lists at most. And if you're using Propstream, listrei.com right here, it's going to get a little confusing exactly all these filters, all these lists, which one you should be going after, which ones you shouldn't be going after. So let's kind of do like a quick breakdown because there's so much to do in here. Like you can go into the MLS, you can pull MLS leads, you can get pre-foreclosures, auctions. So like starting like on the top here, we have MLS properties, we got pre-foreclosure stuff. I'm wholesaling on market to be good. We have auctions, properties set to be on auction. I don't like these too much. Pre-foreclosures are not bad. I don't like the bank owned. Cash buyers, I can pull cash buyers. There's liens, vacants, and high equity. A lot of wholesalers starting out, especially as a beginner, they might pull the vacants and like click that right here and get the 4,156 vacants in Salt Lake County. The issue with that, guys, is there's specific filters in there that if you don't use them, you might not actually get a really good real estate wholesaling deal. Because if I have to cold call 4,000 vacants, oh my Lord, that's going to be a lot. And I can tell you, I could probably chop that down probably in half and really not lose any like potential deal. So let's go in the vacants to actually pull it out. So let's click here on the clear all section, do a clear all filter. Salt Lake County right here, that's where we're at. So what I'm going to do is actually go to the filter section. I'm going to go here, and then all I have to do is just, I'm going to do this manually. I'm telling you, it works actually really good doing this manually. So this is what we're going to, so we're just going to go here, occupancy status, click vacant. And then we got the same vacant properties. Now, just one little caveat I could tell you is, this is when we get in a little more. I don't want to do any of the commercial vacants or anything like that. So I'm just going to do is residential. I'll put my duplexes and all the multifamily that we can still wholesale. So we're going to keep that there. Now we got 3,000. That means there's 1,000 industrial, agricultural, transportation, vacant land, office spaces. Guys, we want to be wholesaling houses, wholesaling real estate. So that's what we're going to do here. I don't want to get like too confusing on anything else. Some people tell you, do you're built all this stuff. Honestly, I don't really like touching this because there's wholesale deals everywhere. One other big part here is we do not want to be listing properties, like wholesaling properties that are listed with a realtor. So when it says the on market section right here, I'm just going to click no, and boom, we're reduced to where's the difference there? About 50 of those houses were already on the market that were listed for sale. So perfect. I don't want to deal with any of those. So we skip that. Now, the next part here is skip pre-foreclosures. We want to deal with that right now. We're going to go to ownership information. So ownership information gives us some information on this. So if I'm dealing with a vacant property, I could tell you most vacant deals that I have done, the owners owned it for multiple years. So I like to put years of ownership, minimum 2. I prefer 3, but let's do 2 just for this example. Boom. Now we're at, what is it? 2,000, right? So if I put 3, how much is going to be on 3? 3 would be like 1,800, which is an insane amount. I want people to own it for a little bit, just have some distress. It's been sitting there forever. Let's do 2 on this one. Let's give a good example here. Let's do 2. So for 2 years, we're like 2,000. That's a good amount, right? I like to go here on owner type. So owner type, I like to skip the corporates for wholesaling. So we're just going to go to individual, mixed, and trust. That's pretty good. Now we have 1,005. I don't want to deal with or wholesale from like any people, the LLCs or anything like that. And now the next and most important part here, this is where a lot of wholesalers really get confused here, but I want to avoid properties where the owners own like 5 or like 10 of these houses, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go here to number of properties owned, and I want to max it off at 4. Let's do 4. If you own more than 4 houses, I don't really want to deal with you because that's just a big landlord right now. If I'm wholesaling, I'm doing a lot of deals. I could probably do this for just as a beginner. I'm going to put at least 4 on here. Now, here's another interesting part. I can go after people that have properties that have like maybe veterans, welfare, widow, no exempt status. I don't like touching those too much. I don't like going after disabled like sellers. I don't really see the point in that. So it makes no sense to me. So what I can tell you here is I like to leave at least 2 years ownership on there. Then lien, bankruptcy status. I don't care if there's a lien on it. It might make it better. But for the now, we're going here to valuation and valuation equity information. I don't want to wholesale any houses that are worth more than like, I don't know, 750 grand. Like usually when the ARV is like that high, I'm not a big fan of it. So let's kind of get my face out of here so it's a little easier for you to see all the filtering here. And what I'm going to go here is I'm just going to go to the estimated value. I'm going to max it at $750,000. The point here is I don't deal with any big properties, like big vacant ones. There's a lot of people that vacation. There's a lot of people that have like houses like half and half here. So want to avoid that. So basically right now we are at 1,000. Pretty insane. That's actually a very, very low amount starting from 4,000. And then the next part here, I actually really like this one. I like actually filtering out equity. I think filtering out equity is a really good one. So what I'm going to go here is we're going to go click equity. So estimated equity. Equity is basically a percentage of how much the property is worth in value, estimated, more or less, versus how much is owed. So if the property is worth $100,000 and they have a all right, the property is worth $100,000, they have a $60,000 mortgage. That means they have if they sold it today, they can get about $40,000. $40,000 versus the value of the house is 40%. So that's 40% equity. So I like to leave at least 55% equity on these deals. So there's enough where they can take a discount. That puts us at like 830 here. And then we can get like even crazier on this stuff. But like, honestly, I think this is actually a really good list. So like I just shaved like a fourth, way more than a fourth, maybe even a fifth of the list here. So that's pretty impressive, I would say. So we got rid of a lot of these properties. And now, like when I call these are all going to be really high chances of being really good deals. So definitely these are really unique properties. These are really good ones. So the vacant list, like hands down, if I pull a property like this, oh my Lord, that is going to be some good money. I think it's a really good list to be pulling for vacants. And that's definitely one, like if I'm pulling vacants, most wholesalers, remember, heck, they're going to be pulled at 4,000. And then you have 3,200 more motivated sellers we can be going after. So let's keep going here and let's pull my second favorite list. So let's go here to the tired landlords. This is a list of, let's do Harris County. This is basically Houston. And we're going to do landlords that are basically, they've owned the property for a while and they might be a little older and they just want to get rid of the property for cash. Maybe it's a little more distressed. These properties aren't vacant, but they work really well. So I just go to quick list here and just go here to tired landlords, which is right here. And these are going to be people that are just landlords. They've owned it for a while. Maybe they're just sick of owning the property, right? So that's a great one. So we have, unfortunately, when I click here to tired landlords, right? Like we went from 292,000 to 1.5 million, which is an insane amount. So that means there's a lot of tired landlords. Houston's a huge place, right? It's one of the top 5 cities in the entire United States. So how am I going to whittle this down for, like, let's say a cold calling list, right? What I'm going to do, filter, we're going to use those same filters that I did before. Now, I don't care about vacants, right? I'm going to go property characteristics. We're going to keep it residential right here and see what that whittles it down to. Oh, wow. Okay. That's pretty good. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to keep going a little slower on this. So we're going to do not on the market. That's going to leave us at 92. Not too bad. Ownership information. I want them to own it for at least 2 years, which on tired landlord, it shouldn't really affect it too much. So that brings us to 31. So it's a huge one there. So we can keep it on there or not. I like that they owned it for a minimum year of time for tired landlords, but the algorithm's always a little different on them. So I'm going to leave 2 on there. I've always found that's a little better. Ownership information. So for tired landlord, I like it when they're individual. Between you and me, that means like they're just kind of renting it in their own name, and maybe they're just like they're not the biggest fans or like the most savvy when it comes to being a landlord. And those are people that just want to get rid of it, most likely. That the landlords that want to sell are the ones that don't put into corporations or anything crazy like that. So I would skip the corporate on there. I would say if you really want to get like a smaller. See, I'm in Houston. Now, if I'm doing this in like my local market, maybe like a town of 100,000, I'm going to keep all of them. I'm going to skip the corporate on this one. I want to max this one at like 10. Like if you own more than 10 rentals, I don't want to deal with you. Anything under, I'm okay with. So now we're back to 23,000, which unfortunately is still a huge. I mean, Houston's huge. Like most of you guys are going to have this big of a list in your local market. So I'm going to use valuation, and then I'm basically don't want to deal with any property over, let's say 700. It's like for a rental, I would probably be at 500,000. Like honestly, like if I'm really gonna do Houston, because I actually know Houston pretty well for wholesaling, I'm not gonna go over 400K, and that's gonna reduce it. Now we're at 21,000. I want equity to be at least, I would say 55. I like them with a little higher equity. Now we're at like 19,000, so that's pretty good. And then honestly, like that's a pretty good list. Cold calling 20,000s, more in my range. I run a little bigger operation, but like that's really what I think is pretty good. So that will be a tired landlord list. If I put that same filter, let's say for Salt Lake City, that's going to be like 49, like that's a completely different one. So just understand it's all a little different. Now, next one I really like here is pre-foreclosures. So if I just go to like Miami, now Miami's not the best wholesaling market, but Miami's not bad. So we're going to do Miami. I'm just going to go here. I'm going to filter. I'm going to quick list here. I'm going to go to pre-foreclosures. It's going to be right here. These are people basically behind more or less like 2, 3, or 4 payments on their mortgage. Pretty good. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go after residential in Miami. Now, the problem with Miami is they have a very high ARV. So how am I going to pull a motivated list in like a high ARV market, right? Like if I go out here, it's going to give me my statistics for Miami, right? So the average square foot is like 270 something ish, more or less here. So that's pretty big. I get some really good data here. So I love the analytics tool. So more or less, like I can tell that the average square foot sold is actually getting pretty high. So I want to stick under like 400K on these. So MLS status, you do the regular, not on the market. Pre-foreclosures already on here. I can filter it even more, but I don't want to touch that because I already did that. Years of ownership. Shockingly enough, I don't really care how long you've owned a pre-foreclosure. So we're going to go to individual, mixed, or trust. I'm in Florida. There's a lot of old people in Florida, so a lot of them actually have their properties in a trust. And I actually wholesale a lot of trust properties, so it works really good. We're going to go to liens here. Now, one thing we could do, we could filter out liens. Not a big fan of that for pre-foreclosure. So we're just going to go to valuation. I don't want to do anything above, I said 400. Let's do 500K. I'm not a big fan of that. So that's 980. That's actually a decent list. And then equity, I want at least, these are highly motivated. So I'm going to put 40% equity, which most of these deals are. That's 722. That's really good for the whole city of Miami, which is still a huge city. If I really wanted to, I can go by my local zip code, and then I can start doing properties like that, and then just kind of put my reverse drawing for dollars, my sticky notes there. I really like that, or text blast a list like that. I can also skip trace in listrei.com, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, that's how I do the pre-foreclosure list there. Not too crazy. And then the next one here is going to just be a regular high equity. So like if I'm doing a mailing list, more or less. So let's do I'm thinking of a place I've done a deal, like a good virtual deal recently. I'm probably going to choose, let's see, who is someone I've not talked to much. I haven't really dealt with my people from Indiana too much. So let's do Indianapolis. And forgive my spelling, everyone. Got a new keyboard, so Indianapolis right here. So I'm in Indy right now. Let's do like a regular high equity, like direct mail campaign, or like a big high equity, like text blasting. So I'm gonna go to filter here and let's start to do some high equity stuff. So really nothing crazy here. Property characteristics. I want to keep it residential right now. I want the MLS not to be on the market. I want pre-foreclosures. So I don't really care about pre-foreclosure there. Now, ownership information. So for pre-foreclosures, I don't care if you own 15. Like if you own 15 pre-foreclosures, like yeah, I can help you with a bunch of them. So I don't care about that. And pre-foreclosures are already so small. For high equity, I do care. So I'm going to leave this at 4 properties owned. I want them to own it for at least, I'm doing 3 years on a high equity. I know a lot of people that do 5 years. I've done 5 on a lot, but times are changing. So I do at least 3 on there. And then that's really what I do on that section. And then valuation, I don't want anything over 200K just because Indianapolis has a lot of cheap real estate. So I don't want to do anything over that. I want equity to be at least 60%. I'm doing this high equity. So that leaves me at 23,000. That's a pretty good list right there. A lot of properties are like this. So like, let's say you can't text blast. Now Indianapolis is still a big place, right? Let's say you can't do 23,000, right? Like I got to whittle this down a little more. This is going to be actually pretty simple. I'm just going to do like a 125 for Indianapolis. If I really wanted to like get a smaller list, because there's a lot of those properties there. That's 7,000. If you do 1,000 a day, that's 7 days of texting. It's not a bad list at all. That's definitely what I want to do. Now, let's say I want to do, less than that. Like, let's say I only have 1,500. What I'm going to do here is just add a lien. So if any of these properties have liens on them, there might be extra motivation. There might be a problem with the property. So I'm going to do a quick target search, and I can do properties that have an active lien. That brings that to 323. So like if I'm doing a really small cold call list, like this might be a really good one to be going after, right? Like, so I really like the liens on here. Let's say I want to do a reverse drawing for dollars or something like that. So I'm gonna get rid of this. I can go buy the lien. So a tax lien is gonna be people that are behind on their taxes, right? That's a pretty good one. I don't like HOA mechanics. Utility lien is actually the water shutoff list. There's 24. That's a quick. I would do some reverse drawing for dollars. Solar, I don't care about. Child support's a pain in the butt. I think other. A lot of credit card debt lien lists, a little harder to do. So if I'm just doing this, I put active lien on it, and that works really well. Actually, let's get rid of this one. Oops, get rid of other. And then we're going to go to active lien. That's 323. Now, I can do a quick list right here, and I go through any of these. On-market properties, vacant. I can add ones with just liens, which basically just did what we did. I can add the filter. So I'll get rid of liens here. And then if I want to just deal with properties that are, let's see, owned free and clear, it means 100% equity. That's pretty quick and easy. I actually like tax delinquencies above tax liens, because tax delinquencies, they just haven't paid the taxes on it, which is like over like, I think 2 years. So you need at least 3 to 4 years for a lien, sometimes 2. Tax delinquency, I don't think it's been a lien yet, or it's a lien and the people are behind. So that's a really good one. You get a little quicker than the liens. I would say tax delinquency is another really good list. Flippers for cash buyers. Senior owners, I will tell you, I don't think it's not the biggest fan of going after people for their age. So I'm going to skip that one. Vacant land, it's okay. Zombie properties is actually a decent one. These are actually pre-foreclosures that are vacant. So people have a pre-foreclosure and they just leave the house. They're like, oh, I don't have enough equity in the house. I don't want to deal with it, right? So if you don't create a financing, right, for a motivated seller, I get rid of this equity here, and there's going to be a ton. So these are all properties that usually don't have enough equity, more or less. The last one are pre-probates. These are people that own houses, but that person died. And in Indianapolis, there's about 5 of them. They go after the death records. Actually, like, it's really not a bad list to be going after. It's like the probates, but you get a little before the regular probates actually start happening. So it's actually a really good list to be going after. But overall, guys, that is how you pull motivated seller leads using Propstream. I absolutely love Propstream. It's one of the best softwares out there. And I can tell you right now, it is an amazing service to be using. So if you want to start learning how to actually pull Propstream leads, how I actually go into Propstream, do it, just go to freewholesaling.com, ask your questions. If you want a 7-day free trial with Propstream, just go to listrei.com. And you can actually try it out free for 7 days and see what you like. There's so many features on Propstream. There's really good ways to find cash buyers on Propstream that we're talking about motivated sellers today, but there's a ton of cash buyers tools. You can actually do rehab calculators, all the stuff I teach at freewholesaling.com. Also, heck, like, I don't know if I should mention this or not. Propstream might get mad, but like, you can create your own website using Propstream. They can actually host the server, and it's technically free for you. And then lastly, they actually have an app. So if you are part of Propstream, listrei.com, you sign up, you actually get a free drawing for dollars app on there too, which is costs like 100, 150 bucks a month. So Propstream's a really good service. I really like it. I use that in multiple services, but definitely try it out. listrei.com. If you got any value from this video, do me a big favor and smash the like button and subscribe. Check out freewholesaling.com. That's my free real estate wholesaling course where I teach the A to Z, the entire process on how to wholesale real estate as a beginner. Make sure you smash the like button and subscribe, and we'll see you soon. This is Zach Ginn signing out. Have a blessed one.